Good evening. As the ninth dean in the storied and rich history of the UIC College of Education, it is my pleasure to welcome you to our annual commencement. Please take a moment to mute all cell phones. Will you please rise for the singing of the national anthem by Kelly Longmire. Thank you, Kelly Longmire. Please be seated. To the parents, families, friends, and alums, this is the day we have all been waiting for. On behalf of the faculty and staff, I would like to introduce you to the 2015 graduating class of UIC's College of Education. At this time, it gives me great pleasure to introduce Dr. Michael D. Emeritus, the Chancellor of the Chicago campus. Michael Emeritus assumed the role as 9th Chancellor of the University of Illinois at Chicago on March 16th. Since that time, he has visited departments throughout the university, met with students and faculty, shared his vision, and enlisted all of us to help him propel this campus to the forefront of urban serving research universities. Before joining UIC, Chancellor Emeritus served as Executive Vice President for Academic Affairs and Provost at the University of South Carolina in Columbia. He was promoted throughout the academic ranks, became Department Chair in 2002, Dean of Engineering in 2006, and Provost in 2009. His research has resulted in more than 100 publications and over $18 million in external funding. Chancellor Emeritus has been recognized with a number of research and teaching awards and was elected a Fellow of the American Association for the Advancement of Science in 2012. He received his PhD in chemical engineering from the University of Wisconsin-Madison before moving to South Carolina in 1994. Please welcome Chancellor Michael Emeritus.
Thank you, Dean Tatum, and congratulations to you and to the faculty of the college for an excellent academic year. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. As you heard, I'm the new guy around here, and I still believe what I'm told. So I have been told that graduations at the University of Illinois at Chicago are very special. I have been told that the parents and the friends really have a lot of energy, a lot of emotion. They want to scream, shout, clap, show how much they appreciate this day. And I have to tell you, I was a little bit disappointed before. So let's try this one more time. Please join me in congratulating the 2015 graduating class of the University of Illinois of Chicago College of Education. I think this was decent. It is an honor to be here and share this incredible day today with our graduates. And I'm delighted also to see all the family members and friends who have joined us today to share your accomplishments and make sure, some of them, that this is really happening finally. The College of Education, your college, is committed to educational equity as it contributes to social, political, and economic conditions. The college's mission is to develop new knowledge to improve teaching, learning and assessment, and to inform policy and practice. And the UIC College of Education is uniquely positioned to apply that knowledge in one of the largest school districts in the nation, the Chicago Public School System. It has prepared you, our graduates, as the next generation of educators, of leaders and researchers, in order to maintain and improve the health of the educational system, not only in this city, but in this state and in this country. But today, our focus is not on the college. Today, our focus is on you. This is your day to celebrate. And please also make sure that all of these people, that they had a lot of energy and they were clapping, take you out to one of the most expensive places in town tonight to celebrate. Remember how many times since you started your studies and you committed yourselves to a long and difficult journey, remember how many days you imagined this day. Remember the thrill of being accepted to one of the best colleges of education in the country. Remember the long nights and the endless cups of coffee that you had to consume. Some of you may remember the hours on the bus or the L every day to make it here and go back. And remember the satisfaction that you had of completing what seemed like an overwhelming research paper, a project, or an impossible exam that you had to finish. Well, this is the special day that you have been imagining during all of this journey, and you have earned the right to celebrate tonight. Tonight is also my opportunity to offer some parting words from your alma mater. Now, when we say parting, we don't really mean it, since I assure you that you will hear from us again, and we hope that we will hear from you. You see, this is not the end of your journey. It's just a short stop, very important, very joyful, but still short stop in your much longer journey of life, which starts, by the way, at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. The rest of the journey is yours to define. You have many choices to make, and they are only limited by your imagination. I hope that your choices bring you to many new and exciting stops along your journey and fulfill your expectations and ambitions. I know that your education will help you navigate the rough waters that inevitably you will encounter in some parts of your life, and I'm confident that you will find the time and passion to also look after others who are less fortunate than you are in their own journeys and help them along the way. After all, this is the legacy and the tradition of your university, of your college, and I know that you will honor this tradition with your own unique contributions. Today, you are wiser and a more educated person than when you began your course of study, despite the fact that some of your friends may not think so. Take a moment to think about the distance you have come, to look back at yourself the day you began, and see how different you are today, how far you have traveled on a road to a better, fuller, and stronger you. Take this moment, breathe in deeply, and enjoy it. On behalf of the University of Illinois at Chicago, I'm going to promise you that we will always be your university. The College of Education will always be your college. I'm sure if some of you do well financially, the fundraisers will find you. But more importantly, this university and this college will always be here for you. Like you, we will continue to grow in strength and reputation, and we will enhance in the process the value of your degree. We will make you proud, just as your achievements have made us proud. After all, the greatness of a university is in big part the sum of its alumni. And in a few hours, you're going to be part of this equation. For someone in my line of work, there are few things greater than seeing all of you graduating, and I wish I could shake every single graduate's hand to offer you personally my congratulations. Today, this privilege goes to Provost Giselson, and I want to apologize ahead of time that I have to leave after my remarks to go to my 4th out of 15 commencement ceremonies and the 3rd one today. I hope to make sure there is enough time next year so we will not have this scheduling problem, so I can celebrate and be here with the next class of graduates. To the parents, families, and friends, I want to thank you for making this occasion so important by being here, and I want to thank you for all of your support for our students and for our institution in the last few years. To our graduates, you can go forward to make your way with the knowledge, skills, and growth that the College of Education has given you to serve, to lead, to teach, to guide, and in your own way, to give back to the world. Please remember to share your future accomplishments with us and to return to UIC, to visit and to mentor our students who will follow in your footsteps. And please go and tell the world about what you have accomplished and also about your alma mater. You are and you will always be the greatest ambassadors of this institution and of this college. And thank you for making UIC and the College of Education a place where success lives and people thrive. Congratulations to each one of you, and Godspeed.
Thank you, Chancellor Emeritus. I am now privileged to introduce you to this year's commencement speaker, Nell Bernstein. In 2005, I met Nell Bernstein through her powerful words written in her book, All Alone in the World, Children of the Incarcerated. I have since read this book close to a dozen times. Prior to reading her text, I had not given a great deal of attention to the question, what happens to the children of the incarcerated as they attempt to navigate this sometimes cruel world, some becoming trapped in its crevices to no fault of their own. One powerful example in the book that struck me as an educator is when Nell brings attention to the fact that the intersection of tougher sentencing and child welfare laws have set in motion the greatest separation of families since slavery. She also writes, the prison boom has done more than rob individual children of the presence of the parent. It has stripped many communities of the most valuable resource they have left, family bonds. In neighborhoods across the country, drained first of their fathers, then of mothers, children rely on care from a series of paid strangers. We now live in a nation with more than 2 million children who have a mother or father in jail or prison right now. These are not, in Nell's words, children who have fallen through the cracks, but have tumbled into chasms. Because of this, it gives me a great pleasure to introduce Nell Bernstein, a true advocate and champion for these children and their families.
Thank you, and welcome, and thank you for making me feel so welcome here, Dr. Tatum, Chancellor, faculty, enthusiastic friends, and graduates of the College of Education. I couldn't help thinking that you are getting your degrees at a moment when the value of a degree is being questioned like never before. Tuition is going up, and so are student loans, and then we have the Silicon Dream Factory spitting out billionaires who are very proud of the fact that they got there without benefit of a degree. So it's not surprising that pundits and probably some parents are asking, is that degree worth it? As for you guys, though, I can't tell you whether your degree will pay off on the open market. I'm just not that good at math, but I think you're a unique group. I think that you hold in your hands a golden ticket that allows you entry into one of our last sacred spaces, the classroom. Whether you find your classroom in a traditional schoolhouse or in a community center or even on a street corner, you bless it with your presence, and I think it doesn't make any difference. I want to tell you a little bit about my own route to vocation, because it was more circuitous than I think most of yours will be. I graduated from college in 1987 with a degree in comparative literature, a suitcase full of black clothing, and no idea what I wanted to do. My first job out of college was as a counselor at a group home for adjudicated girls, and I was 22 and had little more than that complet degree and a youthful willingness to work 36-hour shifts for $6.11 an hour, I still remember that, to recommend me for the role of surrogate parent to these 16 and 17-year-olds who suddenly found themselves consigned to my care. I'm not sure what the language rules are, but every day when I got there, they would ask me, who the bleep are you to tell us what to do? Not just the first time, but every time I walked through the door. And the problem was not only that I could never come up with a convincing answer to that one, I started thinking that they were right to ask the question. What right did I have to claim authority over them? Essentially, the authority of a parent. What right did I have to decide whether they could have a pass to leave the building and see their family, whether they could speak on the telephone? Whatever these girls had done to land in an institution, and in most cases, it was little more than burning through one too many foster homes, I just couldn't convince myself that their actions gave me, at 22, the right to make these fundamental decisions on their behalf. I think some of our deepest life lessons come out of our most profound failures. And by that yardstick, I learned a lot working at that group home. I didn't do well in the eyes of the girls, and I didn't do well in the eyes of my supervisor because I kept making what they considered was the fatal mistake of believing the girls. What I learned was that true authority is grounded not in power, but in relationship, in reciprocity. For the authority that we claim, we owe care in equal measure. That's the tacit covenant between parent and child, I think between teacher and student, but we make no such promise towards those toward whom we presume to act in loco parentis. So I didn't last long at that job, but I got lucky in my next one. I spent 10 years as the editor of a youth newspaper in San Francisco, And here, I wasn't only allowed to listen to the kids and believe them, I was encouraged to listen to them. And not only that, to broadcast their ideas and perspectives to as wide an audience as I could. For a moment there, it was nirvana. I had found my classroom, my vocation, but it was also the 1990s. And that's the era in which an imaginary creature known as the super predator came onto the scene. And there's no way of exaggerating the impact that had on my students, my writers. In a most basic way, they kept getting arrested on their way to work, often for what a friend calls contempt of cop. So I would go with them to court, I would visit them in juvenile hall, and what I saw, whether they spent a day, a year, or longer behind bars, was that their lives almost invariably went downhill. And it was this experience that led me to write my new book, Burning Down the House, which questions the validity of the juvenile prison for this reason. We're isolating children who are crying out for connection with consequences that are absolutely predictable. It turns out that juvenile incarceration not only fails to rehabilitate youth or protect public safety, it does exactly the opposite. Being locked up, if you control for everything under the sun, including the precipitating offense, doubles the chances that a kid is going to go on to be incarcerated as an adult. And over the years, I had my heart broken time and again as I watched kids I loved unravel under the pressure of this isolation. But what I really want to tell you about is something else that I had the privilege of witnessing over these years. I watched young people who appeared to be well along the path to delinquency, or maybe even already there, turn their lives around when they had support in doing so. And I've seen kids follow all kinds of paths, but the ones who make it have one thing in common: a consistent relationship with an adult whom they trust. Whether they're struggling with the pull of the street, the pull of the prison, young people need someone walking beside them as they do that difficult work of changing how they think, how they act, how they react, and figuring out how they view themselves and their place in the world. Rehabilitation happens in the context of relationship. That's the single great conclusion I came to, and every study on resilience or what have you that I've read bears this out, as does the life trajectory of every young person whose genuine rehabilitation I've had the privilege of witnessing. But every aspect of our isolation-based juvenile justice system flies in the face of this fundamental human truth. One of the reasons I loved working at the youth newspaper was that I met some of my great teachers there, many of them significantly younger than me. One of them was a young woman named Eliza, who had grown up in so many different placements, whether foster homes, group homes, or juvenile halls, that she had literally lost count, somewhere around 30. Now she was 18 and brilliant, and we were talking about what she wanted to do with her life. You know, I asked her, do you want to go to college? Do you want to go to grad school? Do you want to get a job? What do you want to do? And she surprised me, as young people so often did, by challenging the premise of the question. And I want to tell you what she said, one of the brightest lights I've known. She said, everyone says you have to get a job, you have to get an education. I'm not sure I want those things anymore. The greatest value I have right now is someone who spends time with me. I don't think many youth value success if no one cares if they succeed. That always stayed with me. And I think that none of what she said is unique to delinquent kids or system-involved kids. What those kids need, she was telling me, is what all kids need. Any difference lies not in their nature, but in the degree to which that nature is denied. So what does this mean for you as future educators? I think it's self-evident, but if you think about it, I think about why we put gold stars on elementary school students' papers. We don't put those little tin stars on the worksheet because the shiny foil itself is going to be a motivator. A child will work most diligently if she knows that someone cares if she succeeds, if she knows that in doing so, she will make somebody proud. That couldn't have been clearer to me than as you all walked in, and there was this huge welling up of pride from your families and the people who support you. So today, you're not only getting a degree, you are, I believe, affirming a covenant, a promise not only to teach, but to learn from your students, and to offer them that sense of personal connection, of reciprocity, which is their unspoken prerequisite for letting you teach them. So that's it. Go on, become that someone Eliza is waiting for. Live that covenant, and you'll live up to your degrees. And thank you for pursuing education.
Thank you, Nell Bernstein, for your inspiring words. Next, I am pleased to bring to your attention those seniors who have demonstrated exceptional academic achievement, receiving honors from the university and the College of Education. Would all those who are members of the Honors College, designated by the gold stoles you are wearing, those who are receiving university honors, as indicated by your gold, silver, and bronze honor cord, and those who are receiving college honors who are wearing medallions, please stand to be recognized. It is indeed a pleasure to recognize our honor students. Through your endeavors, you have reached the entire academic community. You bring credit to yourselves, to your families, and to the College of Education at the University of Illinois at Chicago. We are proud of you and congratulate you for this distinction you have earned. Great teachers are at the heart of a great university. The University of Illinois at Chicago annually recognizes and honors its great teachers. Recipients of the Silver Circle Award as selected by our students. With this award, the students of UIC honor those who have taught with distinction. I am honored this year to present the Silver Circle Award to the following member of the College of Education faculty, Jennifer Olson. Dr. Jennifer Olson, please come to the podium to receive this award. It gives me great pleasure now to bestow the Dean's Merit Award. Every year, the College of Education recognizes and honors outstanding graduating students who have demonstrated academic excellence, who possess exemplary qualities, and who will serve as role models and ambassadors for the College of Education and UIC. The 2015 Dean Merit Awardee for the outstanding doctoral candidate is Zayoni Torres. Zayoni was nominated for this award for excellence in research, teaching, and professional service. She has already emerged as an exceptional scholar in the fields of literacy, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, and English learning education. She has already co-authored 7 peer-reviewed articles and book chapters on the topics of English learners, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, race, and gender. Zayoni has worked as a research assistant, has been a fellow with the Center for Mathematics Education and Latinos, and a teacher's aide in action research of English learners. Zayoni is a professional committed to the education of underrepresented and underserved students in urban schools. She has demonstrated her leadership, intellect, and interpersonal rapport in working with and across generational, linguistic, ethnic, and disciplinary lines. Her experience in working with urban school teachers has placed her in an exceptional position to teach, guide, and inspire future educators. Zayoni has a dynamic intellect, a deep sense of empathy for everyday struggles of people, and is driven to improve the human condition. She will undoubtedly be a credit to the field, our institution, and the people she works with. Congratulations on your accomplishment. Please come forward to say a few words.
Thank you, Dean Tatum. Good evening. I am honored to be speaking in the presence of the Chancellor, the Associate Dean of the Graduate College, the Provost, Dean Tatum, faculty, staff, and colleagues, and family and friends. A special thanks to my advisor and chair, Dr. Arya Rosfar. We should all be proud of this accomplishment and give thanks to all those who helped us along the way for their guidance and support. I recall the advice given me long ago. My father told me, "Lo que sembras hoy, lo cosecharás después," or you will reap what you sow. While my mother reminded me, never forget where you came from. These words solidified the importance of what we do and who we are and who we can become. Reflecting on my time at UIC, I recall the realizations I came to about what I can do in life and who I can become. First, a graduate program can be an isolating experience, but it does not have to be. Second, I may not agree with everyone, but I can still learn from them. Third, the knowledge I gained was profound, and I have an obligation to share that knowledge with others. Fourth, striving for glory and praise does not always equate to happiness. Rather, it is those unseen acts of kindness where true happiness can be found. Fifth, it's easier said than done. However, if we advocate for something, we have a responsibility to stand by it. Last, we need to question, to strive for justice, to be hopeful. As Dean Tatum emphasizes, intentional and unapologetic. We all came into this field for a purpose. Each of us has a history that has helped shape who we are. We need to remind ourselves of that purpose, because it will get us through those times of doubt and uncertainty. We share a commitment guided by our studies at UIC that will require the knowledge to speak our minds, but also to listen to others. The courage to take a firm stance in the presence of injustice and inequities. The will to challenge ourselves, our misconceptions, our privileges. The humility to admit that we do not know everything and we can't do it alone. The love to share with others, and the hope that even when everything in the world seems dark, there will always be a shimmer of light guiding the way along a broken path. Because without hope, none of us would still be in this field. Class of 2015, as you continue down your own respective paths, may you sow peace and love through good works, and may you never forget where you came from, and the responsibility and obligation that comes with that. Congratulations.
The degree of Doctor of Philosophy is the highest degree bestowed by the College of Education in recognition of a rigorous academic program culminating in the writing of a dissertation. Each of these scholars has invested several years in careful preparation under the guidance of faculty to produce an original piece of research that makes a contribution to the body of knowledge in education. Each of these scholars will now go on to be leaders in education as professors, administrators, and researchers. In recognition of the candidates' scholarly accomplishments, they will be hooded on stage by their faculty advisors. I would like to welcome UIC Provost Eric Gislason, who will confer the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. I would also like to introduce Associate Dean of the Graduate College, Laura Lee Yonker, who will present the candidates.
Provost Gislason, upon the recommendation of the faculty and by the vote of the Senate, I have the honor to present these candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Will the candidates please rise?
Thank you very much. Upon these recommendations and by the authority of the Board of Trustees, I confer upon each of you the Doctor of Philosophy degree for which you have been presented and admit you to all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities of that degree. And more importantly, you may now move your tassel from the right side to the left. Congratulations.
Please be seated. The degree of Doctor of Education was one of the first doctorates of professional practice established at UIC and represents the highest professional degree available to educational practitioners. Each of these school leaders has invested several years in rigorous, closely supervised clinical practice, as well as demanding coursework with faculty in the College of Education. Each of them has written a culminating case study of a school that has built new capacity to improve student learning. Together, these leaders will go on to achieve significant improvement in schools, districts, and the future of school leader preparation. In recognition of these school leaders' accomplishments, they will be hooded on the stage by their faculty advisors. Associate Dean Laura Lee Yonker will again present the candidates, and UIC Provost Gislason will confer the degree of Doctor of Education.
Provost Gislason, upon the recommendation of the faculty and by vote of the Senate, I have the honor to present these candidates for the degree of Doctor of Education. Will the candidates please rise?
Upon these recommendations, and by the authority of the Board of Trustees, I confer upon each of you the Doctor of Education degree for which you've been presented and admit you to all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities of that degree. And much more importantly, you may now move your tassel from the right side to the left. Congratulations.
I would like to introduce Shelby Costner, Associate Professor of Educational Policy Studies, who will preside over the hooding ceremony.
Will the new Doctors of Philosophy and Doctors of Education please come to the stage to be hooded by their faculty advisors and be recognized by the Provost and the Dean of Education? Zayoni Torres, PhD, Dr. Torres has earned a PhD in Literacy, Language, and Culture under the direction of Professor Arya Razfar. Her dissertation is entitled The Teacher's Language, Gender, and Racial Ideologies in Practice in the English Learner Classroom. Dr. Torres is hooded by Professor Razfar. Ken Akira Fujimoto, PhD. Dr. Fujimoto has earned a PhD in Educational Psychology under the direction of Professor George Karbatzos. His dissertation is entitled Dependent Dirichlet Process Mixture Modeling of Rating Category Usage. Dr. Fujimoto is hooded by Professor Karbatzos. John Jungwoo Lee, PhD. Dr. Lee has earned a PhD in Literacy, Language, and Culture under the direction of Professor Zatali Morales. His dissertation is entitled, Is Something Wrong with Me? Understanding the Identities of English Learners in Higher Education. Dr. Lee is hooded by Professor Morales. Nicole Marcus Risk, PhD. Dr. Risk has earned a PhD in Educational Psychology under the direction of Professor Everett Smith. Her dissertation is entitled The Impact of Item Parameter Drift in Computer Adaptive Testing. Dr. Risk is hooded by Professor Carol Myford. Catherine E. Romeo, PhD. Dr. Romeo has earned a PhD in Educational Psychology under the direction of Professor Stacy Horn. Her dissertation is entitled Adolescents' Reasoning About Gender Harassment, the Role of Grade and Victim Perpetrator Gender. Dr. Romeo is hooded by Professor Horn. Peggy A. Snowden, PhD. Dr. Snowden has earned a PhD in Special Education under the direction of Professor Norma Lopez Reyna. Her dissertation is entitled Experienced Special Education Teachers' Knowledge and Use of Culturally Responsive Practices. Dr. Snowden is hooded by Professor Lopez Reyna. Andrew C. Sund, PhD. Dr. Sund has earned a PhD in Policy Studies in Urban Education under the direction of Professor Stephen Tozer. His dissertation is entitled Strangers in the Academy, Retention of Latino Non-Traditional Students and College Culture. Dr. Sund is hooded by Professor Tozer. Cheryl D. Watkins, PhD. Dr. Watkins has earned a PhD in Special Education under the direction of Professor Norma Lopez Reyna. Her dissertation is entitled The Role of the Paraeducator in Supporting Reading Instruction for Students with Complex Learning Disabilities. Dr. Watkins is hooded by Professor Lopez Reyna. Keisha Robinson Campbell, EDD. Dr. Campbell has earned an EDD in Urban Education Leadership under the direction of Professor Shelby Cosner. Her doctoral project is entitled Analysis of Leader Development, Exploring Implications of Leader Development on Organizational Change. Dr. Campbell is hooded by Professor Cosner. Stacy Beardsley, EDD. Dr. Beardsley has earned an EDD in Urban Education Leadership under the direction of Professor David Merowitz. Her doctoral project is entitled Leadership Capacity Building, a case study on the impact of leadership and lessons learned. Dr. Beardsley is hooded by Professor Merowitz and Cynthia Barron. Carice Comstock, EDD. Dr. Comstock has earned an EDD in Urban Education Leadership under the direction of Professor Stephen Tozer. Her doctoral project is entitled A Case Study of School Organizational and Leadership Development, a UIC Principal Residence Perspective. Dr. Comstock is hooded by Professor Kathleen Mayer. Ariel Correa, EDD. Dr. Correa has earned an EDD in Urban Education Leadership under the direction of Professor Stephen Tozer. His doctoral project is entitled Shared Leadership, a model for attaining a school's next edge of growth. Dr. Correa is hooded by Professor Tozer. Mary Beth Cunit, EDD. Dr. Cunit has earned an EDD in Urban Education Leadership under the direction of Professor Stephen Tozer. Her doctoral project is entitled International Baccalaureate Light to International Baccalaureate Right. Dr. Cunit is hooded by Professor Tozer. Nicole N. Howard, EDD. Dr. Howard has earned an EDD in Urban Education and Leadership under the direction of Professor Stephen Tozer. Her doctoral project is entitled Pursuit of Curricular Alignment, Organizing for School Improvement. Dr. Howard is hooded by Professor Nancy Carter-Hill and Cynthia Barron. Amy Kotz, EDD. Dr. Kotz has earned an EDD in Urban Education Leadership under the direction of Professor Stephen Tozer. Her doctoral project is entitled Relational Trust and Operational Structures in an Urban Charter Secondary School. Dr. Kotz is hooded by Professor Kathleen Mayer and Cynthia Barron. Charles Malik, EDD. Dr. Malik has earned an EDD in Urban Education Leadership under the direction of Professor David Merowitz. His doctoral project is entitled The Wonder of Sense-Making and Its Relevance to Organizational Leadership. Dr. Malik is hooded by Professor Merowitz. Nancy Paulette, EDD. Dr. Paulette has earned an EDD in Urban Education Leadership under the direction of Professor Stephen Tozer. Her doctoral project is entitled Transforming Teaching and Learning in an Elementary School, Impact of an Interim Principal. Dr. Paulette is hooded by Professor Kathleen Mayer and Cynthia Barron. LaMonica Williams, EDD. Dr. Williams has earned an EDD in Urban Education Leadership under the direction of Professor Stephen Tozer. Her doctoral project is entitled A Cautionary Tale of School Improvement, Too Much, Too Soon. Dr. Williams is hooded by Professors Tozer and Professor Carter-Hill. Christine Zelinka, EDD. Dr. Zelinka has earned an EDD in Urban Education Leadership under the direction of Professor Stephen Tozer. Her doctoral project is entitled Urban Neighborhood Elementary School Makes Gains Despite Internal Stasis and External Turmoil. Dr. Zelinka is hooded by Professor Tozer. Congratulations to all the new Doctors of Philosophy and Doctors of Education. Please give a round of applause to these graduates who have devoted many years to be here today.
It now gives me great pleasure to bestow the Dean's Merit Award on the outstanding master's degree candidate who has demonstrated academic excellence, possesses exemplary qualities, and will serve as a role model and ambassador for the College of Education and UIC. The 2015 Dean Merit Awardee for the Outstanding MED candidate is Adina Linker. Adina is a remarkable individual with a keen intelligence, a caring and compassionate heart, as well as a commitment to equity and justice. Adina came into the youth development program already having several years of direct service work with youth through school-based yoga programs. Adina is a fierce advocate for Chicago public schools, for progressive reform within CPS, and for children and families within Chicago. She is a leader among her peers in terms of modeling critical thinking and self-reflection, and being in a community of practice. She is also highly skilled at connecting theory to practice and intends to pursue a PhD. She will make an important contribution to the fields of social-emotional learning and youth development. Adina has a passion for and commitment to public education, and in particular, education that promotes racial, economic, and social justice as she works to ensure that all young people can thrive, flourish, and fully participate in their lives, communities, and the broader world. Congratulations on your accomplishment, Adina. Please come forward to say a few words.
Good evening, my fellow graduates. I want to welcome our extended families and thank the esteemed professors who so diligently prepared us for this day. I am deeply honored to stand before you. Research suggests that there are two Latin roots to the English word education. Educare, meaning to mold and to train, and educere, meaning to lead out or develop potential. This auditorium holds an incredible pool of talent dedicated to the critical work of both of those definitions. As we venture into classrooms, we won't be teaching lesson plans or subjects. We will be molding human beings, nourishing the potential in the souls that will make up our collective community. We won't be manipulating minds. Rather, we will model how to be mindful and liberated in a world that is determined to define success within narrow confines. We will be burdened and blessed by the relationships that we build, especially those requiring us to stand in the face of injustice, oppression, and insensitivity. We will be trusted, and we will be tested. We have chosen this calling, always aware that we will forever be students and being expected to also know the answers. And my friends, we are ready. We know the difference between schooling and an education. We've been prepared to assess the climate and the culture of the youth spaces that we enter. We've jumped feet first into the dialogue about gender and cultural identity. We respect the value of both youth voice and leadership, and will join in creating sacred spaces where previously there were none. We've been entrusted to speak truth to power when necessary, and we know that it's always necessary. Because our youth are hurting, and they can be healed. Our communities are fractured, and they can be restored. And our own histories reflect that Ferguson is not the first, and Baltimore will not be the last wound that we are aggrieved by. I need not tell anyone here that our paths will be uphill, unpaved, and often in the dark. But we do not go alone. We have our elders, our allies, our alumni, and will always have the youth. So what I suggest is take my grandmother's advice. Be sure to eat right, get out there, and prove yourself. Because you are UIC, you are the College of Ed, and you are ready.
Thank you for those powerful words, Adina. The degree of Master of Education will be bestowed on those candidates who have sought to further their knowledge in the field of education. Many have come from other disciplines to become certified as teachers. Others will explore youth development work, policy making, administration, and other endeavors in education. I would like to call upon the Provost to confer the degree of Master of Education and Associate Dean Laura Lee Yunker, who will present the candidates.
Provost Gislason, upon the recommendation of the faculty and by vote of the Senate, I have the honor to present these candidates for the degree of Master of Education. Will the candidates please rise?
Upon these recommendations, and by the authority of the Board of Trustees, I confer upon each of you the Master of Education degree for which you have been presented and admit you to all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities of that degree. And most importantly, we've now reached the point where you can move your tassel from the right side to the left. Congratulations.
I would now like to introduce Assistant Professor Torika Webb, who will announce the candidates for the Master of Education degree.
Thank you, Dean Yunker. Will the new Masters of Education please come to the stage to be recognized by the Provost and the Dean of the College of Education? Adina Linker, Youth Development. Cindy Castaneda, Policy Studies. Barbara San Roman, Policy Studies. Felicia Ibarra, Policy Studies. Paul Liebrick, Science Education. Jeffrey Batt, Science Education. Marjorie Tagari, Science Education. Anthony Balsamas, Science Education. Mary Baer, Science Education. Jessica Fuentes, Science Education. Caitlin Gallagher, Science Education. Anna McKinnon, Science Education. Sindhu Ankasetapalli, Science Education. Nicole DiVittorio, Science Education. Bridget Walsh, Science Education. Omar Garcia, Science Education. Maribel Cortez, Science Education. Alexandra Silva, Science Education. Eric Hancock, Science Education. Christina Bernardi, Early Childhood Education. Sarah Warda, Science Education. Christine Kochu, Science Education. Darlene Favela, Early Childhood Education. Amy Wroblewski, Early Childhood Education. Kelly O'Toole, Educational Studies. Joel Karlovsky, Educational Studies. Jessica Adam, Policy Studies. Madison Dixon, Policy Studies. Kimberly Heilenbach, Measurement, Evaluation, Statistics, and Assessment. Eva Lawrence, Educational Studies. Brenda Jimenez, Educational Studies. Jeanette Moya, Educational Studies. Anayeli Munoz, Educational Studies. Walter Casimiro, Educational Studies. Brenda Fonseca Roman, Educational Studies. Leslie Morrison, Literacy, Language, and Culture. Arlen Hernandez, Literacy, Language, and Culture. Sarah Lane, Literacy, Language, and Culture. Christina Diaz, Literacy, Language, and Culture. Dana Gottlieb, Literacy, Language, and Culture. Susan Tessers, Literacy, Language, and Culture. Vera Schneider, Literacy, Language, and Culture. Colin McFarland, Measurement, Evaluation, Statistics, and Assessment. Matthew Limmerman, Measurement, Evaluation, Statistics, and Assessment. Lauren Muellner, Early Childhood Education. Elizabeth Dahmer, Special Education. Aaron Jacobson, Special Education. Anastasia Raba Mickelson, Special Education. Catherine White, Special Education. Mariah Hasagawa, Special Education. Benjamin White, Special Education. Elsa Pimentel, Special Education. Julie Harbor, Special Education. Jacob Crookton, Special Education. Jennifer Darling, Measurement, Evaluation, Statistics, and Assessment. Sarai Jimenez, Educational Studies. Sarah Pendergrass, Special Education. Erica Weaver, Special Education. Maishama English, Elementary Education. Jacqueline Travis, Elementary Education. Evdokia Skiadopoulos, Elementary Education. Hayat Masudi, Elementary Education. Bethany Jorgensen, Elementary Education. Jusing Shaw, Elementary Education. Miley Montgomery, Elementary Education. Anna Lay, Elementary Education. Eva Christensen, Elementary Education. Judy Singh, Elementary Education. Lynn Lipinski, Elementary Education. Miriam Lopez, Elementary Education. Allison Schneiderman, Elementary Education. Megan Murphy, Elementary Education. Abigail Hamilton, Elementary Education. Rika Guerrero, Educational Studies. Jessica Spangler, Educational Studies. Benjamin Jorian, Youth Development. Mariana Antonick, Youth Development. Joy Nelson, Youth Development. Mari Goldstein, Youth Development. Chow Lin, Youth Development. Kyla Visti, Youth Development. Callie Jones, Youth Development. Jason Sikorsky, Youth Development. Emma Hardy, Policy Studies. Anwar Smith, Youth Development. Jesus Molina, Youth Development. Daisy Zamora, Youth Development. Christina Peter, Measurement, Evaluation, Statistics, and Assessment. Kenneth Vassar, Policy Studies. Nathaniel Downing, Educational Studies. Shannon Julian, Youth Development. Brittany Davis, Youth Development. Megan Williams, Youth Development. Tiffany Wood, Early Childhood Education. Abina Sasu, Early Childhood Education. Akua Norket, Early Childhood Education. Shin Wong, Early Childhood Education. Ann Kellogg, Early Childhood Education. Diana Espinosa, Early Childhood Education. Suzanne Bross, Policy Studies. Wei Yang, Early Childhood Education. Chong Chin, Early Childhood Education. Chinga Han, Early Childhood Education. Christina Mammon, Policy Studies. Adnana Ortega, Youth Development. Aquila Manfredini, Educational Studies. Graduates, your families and guests, along with the faculty and staff of the College of Education, take great pride in your accomplishments and would like to salute you with a round of applause. Please let's acknowledge these new Masters of Education.
Congratulations once again. Please be seated. It now gives me great pleasure to bestow the Dean's Merit Award on the outstanding bachelor's degree candidate who has demonstrated academic excellence, possesses exemplary qualities, and will serve as a role model and ambassador for the College of Education and UIC. The 2015 Dean Merit Awardee for the outstanding BA candidate is Evan Taylor. Evan exemplifies academic excellence and scholarship, a commitment to service, particularly in urban settings, and a passion for improving the educational experiences and outcomes for youth in Chicago. He brings a powerful mix of intellectual rigor, deep commitment to the ongoing learning, dedication to his new carefully chosen profession of teaching, and an abiding set of beliefs in the potential of each person to enhance his or her own lives as essential ways to bring back and sustain community change. While showing leadership in the urban education program and with peers, Evan has also shown outstanding contributions to UIC through service on campus and in the wider UIC and Chicago communities. In the Chicagoland community, he has been involved in a faith-based community work as a guidance counselor, camp counselor, and after-school programming director. He continues to mentor and stay in contact with graduates of the program. He also participates in community workshops. Evan embodies the mission and vision of the College of Education, as well as qualities needed to fulfill the promise of public education. He is a rising star with profound commitment to become a change agent for social equality in Chicago and beyond. Evan intends to continue his studies and pursue a master's degree in special education in the College of Education. Evan, congratulations on your accomplishments. Please come forward to say a few words.
Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing today? Good? 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 I was like, I knew when I got up here, everybody just like teaching the last period of class, because everyone's gone through, and so everyone's like ready for me to just say what I need to say and sit back down. But I figured since we have a smaller cohort, that gives me like an additional 5 to 10 minutes to say what I need to say. And I'm gonna take your laughter as agreement with that. So you're gonna regret that laugh. But I was gonna say, after all those things that Dean Tatum said, I think I should have been up here getting a hood for the PhD. But that's some extra hoods handed out. I don't know how much they cost, but I can buy one and bring it up here next time. But enough playing around, I guess. When I look back at my experience here, I think back to a story that my dad would often tell before starting a sermon, where there was an old man, and he had this ugly cat, like the ugliest cat you'd ever seen. Like, people look at the cat and like, what in the world is this dude doing with this ugly cat? And so the old man's walking around one day, and he realized that they're having a cat fashion show, like a beauty contest. And so he's like, I'm gonna enter my cat into this competition. And so the cat goes, and the cat, of course, this is one of those stories. The cat loses the competition completely. Like, why you, they're like, asked the old man, why'd you put this ugly cat inside this competition? And he was like, I just want him to be around some cool cats. And that's the same way I feel with the cohorts that I've been with and being in college of education. You've all allowed me to be around some cool cats these past few years at UIC. So I thank you all for that experience. I have a Jay-Z quote. You don't mind if I say a Jay-Z quote to start things off? Okay. So there's, look at this. You look at the top of my hat. This divided into thirds. I sort of want to do this just because there's like the Jumbotron, and I've never been to a Jumbotron before. No, look, so I feel like sort of like a tele-evangelist up here with this. But there is divided into thirds because there's only 3 African Americans coming through the elementary education program today. And when I looked, I was thinking about this morning and throughout the entire process. And of course, the first person I looked to for inspiration as to something to say to Philip and Rachel, who are also part of this process, me being here, is, of course, I looked to Jay-Z, and I couldn't look to Jay-Z without looking, of course, to Yeezus, or Yeezy, or Kanye West, he's better known as. So, Jay-Z says in this rap, now please, Domino, Domino, only spot a few blacks the higher I go. What's up, Phil? Say, Rachel, yo, that ain't enough, we need 1 million more. We 3 kicked in the dough, Biggie Flow, Black Excellence, truly yours. So I say to Philip and Rachel, even though I'm the one up here, this award and testament of me being up here, I don't think I could be up here without you two and what you've all done in my process here. But before they clap, I'm still gonna take the award. At the end of the day, I'm not gonna trade things off, I'm still gonna take it. But hand clap to you two. All right, so that was the part of the speech. So when you all laughed at all those jokes and all that stuff, that was the time that you all afforded me to do that a little bit. So now I'll begin the speech. Good evening. Good evening. Okay. It was once said by one of the greatest philosophers of our time, Kanye West, who once said, if you admire somebody, you should go ahead and tell them. People never get their flowers while they can smell them. In that spirit, I would like to begin by handing out some verbal flowers of appreciation to all those who have been a part of our journey here at the College of Education. I want to begin by thanking the faculty and staff of the University of Illinois, Chicago. I would like to thank the advisors within the College of Education who often sat with us when we did not know what we really wanted to do except for graduate. To the families and friends who are amongst us here today, both in body and in spirit, we thank you for believing in us, even when we did not believe in ourselves. Thank you for your love, guidance, and support throughout our lives. It was your support and love that served as lighthouses to our sailing ships. We take this time to thank for all you have done, are doing, and will do for us in the future. It was once said by a man who lived in Nazareth, who lived about 2,000 years ago, who once said to his followers, "Ye are the light of the world. a city that is set on a hill that cannot be hid. To the graduates, we are also lights. Better yet, we are guiding lighthouses to our students. We are guiding lighthouses that guide our students through this dark world. As we go out into the world, we must dare to shine. For if we do not, the rocky shores beckon our student ships. The rocks of poverty, racism, sexism, classism, and the rocks of being realistic and daring not to dream await our students and even await us. But as we as people can avoid those rocks if we shine bright. But shining is not easy in a world that has grown accustomed to darkness, hatred, mediocrity, and silence. For light beckons action. You have got to dare to shine in a world full of darkness and is satisfied with sitting and dwelling in the shadows. This darkness comes in various forms and can only be driven out by light. The darkness can be people, situations, policies, administrators, and sometimes we can even be the darkness that is hiding our own light. When you find yourself in dark situations, you must shine, for the world depends on it. Anne Frank once wrote, "Look at how a single candle can both defy and define darkness." We are the candles of the world. Not one of us, but all of us. The power to both defy and define darkness resides in us. There are few guarantees in life, but there is one guarantee, that there are some dark days and times ahead. But there is one guarantee, that if you shine your light, those dark days won't be as bad. But the question is, will you hide your light to make those around you feel comfortable and complacent? Will you sit back idly and let the world reside in the darkness of hatred? Or will you shine your light and inspire others to do the same? Another wise philosopher by the name of Bob Marley had an idea that he could cure the world of racism and hate by injecting music and love into people's lives. One day when he was scheduled to perform at a peace concert, 2 gunmen came to his house and shot him down. 2 days later, he walked out to the stage and sang. When they asked Bob Marley why he came back after being shot after there was so much opposition against him, much like there was much opposition against us in the world as educators, as those who want to light up the darkness, Bob Marley responded, "The people who are trying to make this world worse are not taking a day off. How can I light up the darkness?" So therefore, I charge you to light up the darkness. I charge you to shine big. I charge you to shine pretty. I charge you to shine bright. Thank you.
Thank you, Evan Taylor. The Bachelor of Arts degree in Urban Education is designed to prepare undergraduates to become teachers in urban elementary schools or educators in schools and communities in Chicago. Our graduates have engaged in intensive preparation in the final 2 years of their undergraduate programs and are leaving us well prepared to make a positive difference in the lives of children and youth. I would now like to call upon the Provost to confer the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Urban Education. Provost Gislason, upon the recommendation of the faculty and by vote of the Senate, I have the honor to present these candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Arts. Will the candidates please rise?
Upon these recommendations, and by the authority of the Board of Trustees, I confer upon each of you the Bachelor of Arts degree for which you've been presented and admit you to all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities of that degree. And now, you cool cats may move your tassel from the right to the left side. Congratulations.
I would now like to introduce Professor Eleni Katsaro, a faculty member in Curriculum and Instruction and coordinator of the Urban Education Program, who will announce the candidates for the Bachelor of Arts degree.
Thank you, Dean Tatum. Thank you, Philip. Will the new Bachelors of Arts please come to the stage to be recognized by the Provost and the Dean of the College of Education? Evan Taylor, Urban Education, Elementary Education, magna cum laude with high college honors. Carletta Christian, Urban Education, Education in a Democratic Society. Julia Baranowski, Urban Education, Education in a Democratic Society. Danielle Friel, Urban Education, Elementary Education, cum laude. Tabitha Kim, Urban Education, Elementary Education, magna cum laude with high college honors. Kelsey Safranek, Urban Education, Elementary Education. Colleen Moran, Urban Education, Elementary Education, cum laude. Diana Marie Luna, Urban Education, Elementary Education. Anna Coletti, Urban Education, Elementary Education, magna cum laude with high college honors. Patricia Novak, Urban Education, Elementary Education, cum laude. Inhe Yu, Urban Education, Elementary Education. Hongxi Mao, Urban Education, Elementary Education, summa cum laude with high college honors. Melissa Rosenthal, Urban Education, Elementary Education. Nicole Rodriguez, Urban Education, Elementary Education. Andrew Park, Urban Education, Elementary Education. Ariel Upton, Urban Education, Elementary Education, magna cum laude with high college honors. Anjisha Thomas, Urban Education, Elementary Education. Maria Teresa Chavez, Urban Education, Elementary Education. Diana Vensor, Urban Education, Elementary Education, magna cum laude. Rosa Huerta, Urban Education, Elementary Education, cum laude. Catherine Carr, Urban Education, Elementary Education, magna cum laude with high college honors. Nancy Torres, Urban Education, Elementary Education. Teresa Olikal, Urban Education, Elementary Education. Sierra Kelly, Urban Education, Elementary Education, cum laude. Jamie Johnson, Urban Education, Elementary Education. Laura Gillahan, cum laude with college honors. Zenon Kolakowski, Urban Education, Elementary Education. Jacqueline Santillan, Urban Education, Elementary Education, magna cum laude with high college honors. Jessica Garcia, Urban Education, Elementary Education. Rachel Walker, Urban Education, Elementary Education, cum laude with college honors. Min Ah Choi, Urban Education, Elementary Education, cum laude with college honors. Philip Bowen, Urban Education, Elementary Education, cum laude. Adriana Servin Cruz, Urban Education, Elementary Education. Graduates, your families and guests, along with the faculty and staff of the College of Education, take great pride in your accomplishments and would like to salute you with a round of applause. Please let's acknowledge the new Bachelors of Arts.
Will all of the graduates please stand? Let's give them one more round of applause. Please be seated. Graduates, I now have a new title for you. You are all now officially alumni of the College of Education at UIC. And we await your future achievements and watch with pride as you begin your new phases in your lives. I would now like to introduce a member of the College of Education Alumni Association, Cynthia Valacinio, who will say a few words of welcome.
Valenciano. Greetings on this joyous day. Let me take just 1 minute of your time to make this important announcement. It is my great pleasure that I welcome you, the College of Education graduating class of 2015, to the UIC College of Education Alumni Association. Congratulations on your accomplishments and welcome to the UIC family. Now you have graduated and are on your way to the next chapter, you may find yourself answering 3 questions very frequently. Where did you go to school? And you will say, what was your program of study? And you will say, did you graduate? Announce this with all due pride. Those who graduate from UIC in the College of Education join a legacy of people who roam the cutting edge of ideas and theories and practice. At the cutting edge is the fringe of all possibility. Through your practice, you will create the fabric of the future. Your colleagues from UIC understand that the calling of educators are to inspire bravery, have courage of conviction, and a disposition towards action of those around us and for ourselves. As your college's Alumni Association representative, I invite you to join us at our alumni events and really make some things happen. We'll see you at the reception where we have an alumni table, and I will hope you will come by to pick up your graduation gifts and register to be involved. And this very joyous day, I say congratulations again.
Thank you, Dr. Valenciano. And now Kelly Longmire returns to sing I Hope You Dance, a song to honor our graduates. She will be accompanied by Walter English on keyboards.
I hope you never lose your sense of wonder. Get your fill to eat, but always keep that hunger. May you never take a single breath for granted. God forbid love even leave you empty-handed. I hope you still feel small when you stand beside the ocean. Never wonder closes, I hope one more opens. Promise me that you'll give faith a fighting chance. And when you get the choice to sit it out or dance, I hope you dance. I hope you dance. I hope you never feel the fear of the mountains in the distance. Never settle for the path of the least resistance. Living might mean taking chances, but they're worth taking. Loving might be a mistake, but it's worth making. Don't let some hell-bent heart leave you bitter. You come close to selling out, reconsider. Give the hands above more than a passing glance. And when you get the choice to sit it out or dance, I hope you dance. I hope you dance. I hope you dance. I hope you dance. I hope you still feel small when you stand beside the ocean. Whenever wonder closes, I hope one more opens. Promise me that you'll give faith a fighting chance. And when you get the choice to sit it out or dance, dance. I hope you 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 dance. Never fear the mountains.
Thank you, Kelly Longmire. Before offering my final charge to you graduates, I would like to acknowledge Dr. Joy Eisen, Dean of Student Services, who has planned our commencement ceremony for more than a decade. Dr. Eisen is retiring, and this is her last commencement. Can we please give Dr. Joy Eisen a round of applause? Now, to the graduates of UIC College of Education, the time has now come to bid you farewell and congratulate you once again on a job well done. We hope the lessons you've learned and the friendships you've made will sustain you as you move forward. I charge you to seek that which inspires and impresses as you make inroads to do work that also inspire and impress. Never become imprisoned by smallness or paralyzed by fear, because at that moment, those who can benefit the most from your efforts may experience the suffocation of their humanity. Entering the field of education is not the crucible. It is the nesting ground for experiencing the beautiful and menacing parts of our multi-textured humanity. You will be challenged to excavate something deeper and more meaningful inside of you, to resist the pathological traps that sanction ruinous outcomes for far too many. Never allow someone's future to hemorrhage in your presence if you are in a position to make an impact. Take what you've learned from the fine professors on this stage: knowledge about neoliberalism, supporting the tradition of transition with adults with disabilities, human development across the lifespan, advancing science and mathematics, organizational theory and school reform, teaching and becoming advocates in the Chicago public schools in urban contexts, effective literacy instruction, and conducting high-quality research that informs the public landscape. I also want you to take away that what has been offered is far from complete. You must become your own trumpeter and create new platforms in response to the inevitable shifts that will come. The College of Education at UIC is a great place, but you must become greater. From birth onward, education is always the pillar that enriches. On behalf of the faculty, staff, and alumni, I say go forth, be extraordinary, and continue to make an impact. To the graduates and your families, please join the College of Education faculty and staff at the commencement reception in the Student Services Building across the street. Again, congratulations, graduates.